Hey, some important information. The Miami Police Podcast now has its own YouTube channel. That's right, its own YouTube channel. So if you're not watching it on the Miami Police Podcast channel, click on over, go over there and hit a subscribe, click the notification bell. That's where we're going to be housing all of our Miami Police Podcast full episodes over there. So make sure to subscribe over there. With that being said, let's get back to the podcast.
That scared me a little bit.
You guys synced up really awesomely on that one.
No, there's some mosquitoes on this side of
I
the...
thought it was like a M80, like a firecracker.
There's mosquitoes over here, guys.
Gnat.
Here we go.
Welcome to the very first, well, this is like the pre-podcast. Gio can't even get off the ground and he's stumbling.
Oh, man.
Welcome to the very first ever, well, this is the very first somebody help me out here. It's preseason.
The very first episode of the Miami Police
The
Podcast.
introductory podcast.
There you go. And if this was like a sports
Pre-podcast.
league, this would be like a scrimmage, right? Preseason.
Preseason.
Welcome everybody listening out there in podcast land, watching on YouTube. We're on YouTube. If you're watching it, if you're listening, we're on YouTube. If you're watching, we're on a whole bunch of other streaming audio networks such as Spotify,
Listening services.
iHeartMedia yet or no?
iHeartMedia.
All
We will
right.
be
Apple.
there. Apple iTunes,
SoundCloud?
Spotify, We're on there twice. So, welcome to the very first Miami Police Podcast. We wanted to take this time to introduce ourselves, introduce this podcast, this new format that we're going to be bringing information to. If you don't know us, we run the social media unit with, we also have another guest from PIO. He's going to be joining us here on this show. And what is this show? We're going to get into that. So, but first, why don't we go around the room, introduce ourselves to the new audience that we got here on the Miami Police Podcast. We'll take it all the way to the back. Sitting in the back. Who we got back there?
My name is Anissa. I'm the social broadcasting specialist. Essentially, it's like social media specialist. And yeah, I've been working here for 10 months.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
So what did you do before you were here?
Okay, so I worked in higher ed. I was actually an administrative assistant, but as part of that job, I was responsible for their social media account as well. So I created it. I was in charge of their Twitter, their Facebook, their Instagram. They didn't have YouTube. They did not have a podcast. But it was cool. It was a tutoring center
So this is a promotion.
to them.
Yeah. You got a podcast now.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you go to FIU, you get free tutoring.
Oh, well, there you go.
We don't have that.
Gio, you could tutor.
Okay, sign up for that. No?
We could try. We could tutor.
Maybe I could get you a job there.
Maybe.
So, and Anissa, you went to school for, I mean, if you're liking the set and you're like, wow, look at that, where are they at? Where's that studio at? It's so professional. Well, Anissa helped with the decoration because she's also an interior design.
Yes. I have my bachelor's in interior design, and then I have my master's in global strategic communication.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's, this is where we're at.
Yeah, it's like a bubble of communications, basically. So PR, social media's in there, copywriting, those kind of things.
Cool.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right. Well, sitting next to Anissa, we have, why don't you introduce yourself?
What's up, everyone? My name is Ralph. I've been a police officer with the department for 6 years now, 3 years in the social media unit. And I never thought in a million years I would be on a Miami Police podcast.
Super cool.
So I'm super excited to be here right now. I just a little background in the department, 2 years, like everyone does in the beginning of my career on midnights. Then I went to Model City day shift. I worked there for about 6 months, and I became a beat officer in Edgewater on my bicycle, patrolling on my bike, and loved that position. Only way I would ever left that was to come here, and then I came to this unit. So yeah, been here about 3 years now, and yeah. excited.
And now you're on a podcast.
And now I just somehow ended up on a podcast. I'm not sure how I ended up here, but I'm here.
Yeah, and you have a little bit of background. That's why you're working the board, the soundboard there, and the engineering. You have a little background.
For many years before I became an officer, I was in the music business. I was a producer. I was an artist. Wrote everything from hip hop music to pop music to country music. Wrote for labels and still
Country music?
Country music.
Wow.
Yeah, and I wrote for a couple labels, and yeah, so definitely the music background that I had in the past ties into a lot of things we do in social media.
Yeah. Are we going to get a custom soundtrack?
Absolutely.
To the intro?
We might have to make an original record from scratch.
Nice.
I was just gonna say that we need something
We're gonna
very
do a
unique.
music video and all.
Wow.
That's the sound of the police.
Oh yeah, we're gonna blow this thing up. That didn't work.
Well, he's still working on it.
The volume was down. This is what I meant to do.
Hey, there we go.
He's our sound guy, but we only had a couple to choose from. So
Yeah. I'm not the cream of the crop. I'm the only one in the crop.
All right. Well, welcome to the podcast, Ralph.
Yes, sir.
All right. Who's sitting on the couch over there?
Hey, I'm Orlando. I'm on loan from the Public Information Office. Really, we're one big team here. We're split in two factions, I guess you could say. There's social media and PIO, which is just two different components of communicating on behalf of the department. They do it through social media. I work with public information officers that speak to the news, and I handle public records requests. So, I'm glad to be here. I'm supposed to be the Ed McMahon kind of guy on the couch.
Yeah. How does that go?
A lot of belly laughter, like, this is great. Glad to be here.
But isn't there like a little catchphrase you got to do?
Hey-o!
There he is. So Orlando is here, and by the way, Anissa and Orlando are both civilians.
Yep.
So they're going to bring in that perspective to the conversation because we understand that not everyone that's going to listen are police or law enforcement. A lot of aspiring police officers that want to get into law enforcement, people are just interested in the career and the profession, and they just like want to get some information. Well, we have Anissa and Orlando here to try to chime in and give us that perspective from the. What do you got? She's holding up her hand. Question.
Yeah. Can I speak?
I actually, when I first got hired, I thought I was coming into a team of a bunch of me. Like I thought it was just gonna be like social media person,
And she got us.
another person, and then like 3 guys walk in and they're cops, and I'm like, whoa. So my coworkers are cops.
Yeah, and how we doing so far?
What do you think?
It's like these guys are a bunch of goons.
Yeah. Oh, I love it because you guys have that firsthand experience. I don't have experience on the street. You guys have that firsthand experience. So you can tell me, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. I can't really experience that. You guys are the ones that have experienced it, and I kind of learned through you.
All right.
Well, she's a great addition to the team.
She is.
I agree.
She is.
Yeah, she's
and
excellent.
she's going to be leading some segments in the podcast.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and they usually start with her name and then whatever the segment is. Well, let's move on from the couch. We're going to skip me. And who's this handsome feller sitting in front of me? My man!
Hey,
what's going on? How you doing? Hey, boom!
Hey, he blushed a little bit. He
a little
blushed.
bit,
This handsome feller. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on? Gio over here.
Yeah.
Been 16 years. 16 years. Man, me and Nick, we go back from the beginning, rookies in Model City Patrol.
That's right.
So, man, a lot of street experience in PST, Model City, Little Haiti, Upper East Side. Me and Nick, we're together in Upper East Side as well.
Yeah.
Went to the Grove Beats,
Yeah.
Grove PST. And
What
then,
is PST?
Problem solving team.
Problem solving team. So
Yeah.
so in an area, there's a commander is over an area, and if there's certain situations that are problems that are happening, narcotic sales or something that are happening in an area, then they'll deploy their problem solving team, which Gio was a part of, and then
Exactly.
he goes addresses a problem through some strategic
action. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So if someone's, let's say you have a bunch of car break-ins, for instance.
Yeah.
In a certain area, let's say they're targeting Wendy's or Walgreens, then you're gonna set up an actual strategy for that. Whether you surround the area, put some undercover officers or surveillance, however you decide to do it, you're gonna target that until that offender is captured, and you bring that crime down.
You come up with like an operational plan, and then you address the situation.
Exactly.
So you did all that, and then what happened? How'd you get? What? How are you here? What? You're on a podcast now.
Luckily you had started the social media unit, and I was like, man, this is pretty cool. I have a little photography background, so you're like, put in. So
yeah,
put in.
He's being modest. He's a really good photographer. If you guys haven't seen his stuff, we posted online on our social media. So if you see any hey man, do they have a professional photographer taking his pictures?
There he is.
There he is. Mm-hmm. There he is. That's the guy. That's the guy behind the lens.
I appreciate it. Yeah. So it was great. Got the job. Nick and Reyes, they started the unit, and I liked what they were doing. The vlog, I was like, what's a vlog? I started watching my YouTube. I'm like, it's pretty cool. This is cool stuff.
Yeah.
So I was happy to come on board and learn and start to get some videography skills and just learn a different skill set within the department, which was really great. So been almost 5 years I think already.
Yeah. Well, so we started the unit. We started going good. We got a lot of requests to do a lot of content, and then we were like, man, we need another person here because we are swamped with work. So they allowed us to get another body. They're like, do you have anybody in mind that that has a certain skill set that can come to the unit and kind of be a smooth transition? And I was like, I got a guy. I know a guy. So when we started, how we started is like Gio's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, hey, how you doing? He's like, hey.
What's going on, guys? Hey.
Yeah. He's like, wait a minute.
Like it.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Where are you from? I said, well, I'm half Puerto Rican and half Italian. You're Italian. Forget about it. And then the rest is history.
Nice.
Yeah. Right?
Cool.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We bring each other like leftovers. I got some lasagna from last night.
A little ravioli,
Yeah, you bring your meatballs, I bring my lasagna. We got a whole meal. Forget about it. All right. Oh, wow. So we want to keep it light here. By the way, hey, how you doing? I'm Nick. How you doing? Hey, how you doing?
Who are you?
Yeah,
who are you?
Who's the host?
Who's this guy over here?
All right. How you doing? I'm Nick. I've been on for 15 years here at the City of Miami Police Department, the greatest police department ever. Was in the academy, got out of the academy, was very active in the streets. I then went to problem-solving team like Gio. I was in Little Havana. I went to Upper East Side. Then I became an FTO. Then I went to the tactical robbery unit. I was in the social media, started the social media back in 2015. I left. I went to the academy to train over there. It was always one of my goals. When I was in the academy, I said one day I want to come back to the academy, but as a trainer, because I really like to teach, and I was like, man, get the knowledge out from the street and come back and give it to the new recruits and help mold the future officers. So I was able to do that. I had the opportunity to do that. I left and went over there for 2 years, and now I'm back. Coming back with some ideas, and I want to be, hit the ground running. We said, let's start a podcast. So this is it. We're on a podcast.
We're here.
We are here, and I assembled the Avengers, the crew here, and I'm like, wow, this is a great crew, and I plucked Orlando over from PIO. I said, you're coming with us.
Definitely.
You have no choice.
Yeah. So this podcast we wanted to expand. So if you don't know, if you haven't seen me or Gio or Ralph.
Check the YouTube out.
We're on the YouTubes. We do a vlog on the YouTube for the agency. We've done it. We're the first police department in the world. That's right, Mr. Worldwide, in the world to have a police vlog. So we had a vlog. We started in 2015, I want to say, or it's either the January of 16, December of 15, one of those. So we started a vlog, and this is kind of like to not to mirror, but we want to, what's it called when you're complimenting? There it goes. Complimenting the vlog. It's podcast all around now, and we want to bring this platform and this style to the department. Yeah. So
another layer of the unit, another outlet to reach out to everybody.
Exactly.
It's another component.
Yeah.
And like you said, the podcasts are in right now.
Yeah.
Podcasts,
well, that's a good segue. Before the show started, we were talking. There's probably a lot of people in podcast land that are wondering, why does a police department need a podcast? So what do you think?
Open discussion. I mean, it's something you can't do on the vlog.
Yeah, because a lot of people are going to see this and they're going to say, all right, cool, but why does the Miami Police Department have a podcast?
Exactly. So there's only so much we can give you in a 30-second post about something that we need to tell you. So we want to educate, right? And we want to do it in a unique way. We want to make it entertaining. We want to make it fun. But at the end of the day, we want to bring you some knowledge that can help you and provide a service to you. Because not only are we out there knocking on doors, going to community meetings, nowadays everyone's on social media. Yep. So we need to be there. And if this is the format that's reaching the masses, then we want to be on here to communicate with you guys.
What can we do and what can we use to reach the most amount of people?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
So we decided let's start a podcast. And the guests that we bring in, we want to bring in all kinds of guests from the agency, starting with the chief. This is the pre-podcast. So the very first podcast, we want to bring on the chief so you guys can get to know the chief and the direction of the agency. And then we want to get into it. We want to really dive into those units and just explain a little bit about what we do. You get to meet some of our officers, right?
Yep.
You get to see or learn how we do things. And if there's anything we need to tell you, for instance, if we have auto crimes on, they might tell you some preventative tips from getting your car broken into or stolen. Yeah. So that's the goal here. Is we want to like build a fun platform.
We do all the time on our pages. You can see on our Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. We're constantly putting PSAs out there. If it's 4th of July, if it's Christmas, if it's Halloween, what to be aware of, any scams. This gives us an opportunity, I think, to go that step further, because we might drop a minute PSA. Hey, guys, remember this, remember this. Yeah, it's just kind of like off the top, the basic info you need to know. And now here we can bring on a detective to say, hey, we know this is going on. Yeah. But what can we do to prevent it? What is the tools that they're using? Take that step further into educating people. And I think there's nothing like this out there, really, unless someone else had a detective on their podcast or something. But we have it now here.
Yeah, but we're doing it our style.
We can bring someone in and say, hey, lately there's been a lot of, the crime, such as cars stolen or cars broken into. Bring that detective on here, take it that step further.
Yeah.
A lot of valuable information is going to come from this.
Get to go in depth a little bit more, see the faces, you know, behind the scenes, a little more personal.
Yeah. It's also a medium if we need to address something. If there's a hurricane coming, we might bring on some people to help explain a little bit more what to do during a hurricane. So we're just going to use it to the max. This is a very good medium to reach out to you guys. We're doing it not only on a podcast, but we have a vlog. Not only on a vlog, we're on Instagram, not only on Instagram, TikTok now to reach the younger audiences, and Twitter, of course, and Facebook. We canceled our MySpace.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm broke.
Okay, it was time.
It's about time.
But back to what you're saying about the educational component. I'm sure Anissa, myself, a fellow civilian, can attest to, is that when you're a civilian, you might not have a comprehensive view of what the police department does. Like everybody knows about patrol, Marine Patrol, K9 units. But like you go ask the average guy in the street, you know what a neighborhood resource officer is?
Yeah.
You know what a community service provider is? It's a civilian that hosts like neighborhood watch programs and stuff like that. There's so many components that the outsiders won't see, so
they
it's a
won't
good
know
way
about.
to expose them to that stuff.
Yeah, and of course we're gonna do our song and dance. A lot of song.
Yeah.
A lot of dance. And we'll deliver that message as entertaining as possible to keep you guys glued to your headphones, to the TV, to your computer screens.
Just glued to everything.
Your ride home.
You're in your ride home. During your ride home, turn us up.
Your workout.
But we gotta talk a little bit faster, and Gio's gonna make a beat. So that's what the podcast is going to be about. We're going to have, it's a format that we want to follow. So we're going to take breaks during the podcast, and during those breaks, we're going to bring you some kind of PSA or information that we need to get to you, or an event that's coming up. It's kind of like Halloween, right?
Yep.
When's Halloween happening? The 26th, I think it's the 27th.
End of October.
Yeah, I think it's the 27th. It's the day before my birthday.
Okay.
And then October 4th is National Night Out.
Yeah.
So
that's a big one.
Yeah. So what is National Night Out? You want to elaborate on? I think you remember a little bit.
Yeah. National Night Out. It's gonna be at Duarte Park.
Yeah.
Basically, we all of our units go out there. We'll have SWAT trucks, the ice cream truck, the the slingshot. It's a very community oriented event where you bring the family and just activities, and it's a chance for everyone in the community to come meet the officers that work that work out on the street every day.
Yeah,
and that area,
and
for us to meet you.
Yeah.
So you to meet us to meet you in a positive environment.
Yeah, I've been out there the last 3 years, and every year it's usually a great turnout, and people always have a great time. Definitely something to bring the kids. Music. There's like jump houses. There's like it's awesome.
Nice. I actually went down one of those slides one time. When I was there early, they set it up, and I was like,
"Test it out."
Yeah,
gotta test it out.
They were like, "Hey, let's make sure it's safe."
Sure
and I went up there, and I think it was with Garrett when we did that too.
Was it fully inflated?
It was. It worked. It was good. So if you don't know, we're gonna take a break. That's what we're gonna do when we get back.
Break.
When we get back, we got Anissa's Topics, icebreaker things. I don't know. It's our first one. We're getting
The chimes.
Is it windy in here? I think it's a little windy in here.
It's mass. It's time for mass.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's the sound of the bell.
All right.
Break time.
We'll be right back. Well, hello, and welcome to the very first Miami Police podcast commercial. During these commercials, we're going to be taking a pause from the conversation and talking to you guys, the listeners and the viewers out there. What are we going to be talking about, you might ask? Events. We're going to be talking about PSAs. We're going to be talking about possible recruiting opportunities with the police department. It's a lot of information that we need to get to you, and that's where we're going to be delivering it during these commercial breaks. With that being said, let's get back to the podcast. And we're back. So that was the first commercial. What'd you think about that one, Gio?
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Elaborate.
Okay.
I think we got to start the countdown, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
Wait, don't we like a
muy-
reintroduction chimes or something like that?
and for our Spanish listeners, muy interesante.
Hey.
Whoa, that's pretty
Antonio
good. Pretty good.
Banderas.
It's, bilingual.
That's right.
Okay, so we're back, and so we wanted to explain the podcast in the first segment, but this is how more or less how the podcast will start when we have a guest on who's not in the social media or PIO. And by the way, Orlando's spot is his if he's here, if he wants it. But every now and then we might rotate out and have a new guest on the couch.
Which hurts, but I'll take it.
Yeah. So if Orlando decides to go to, I don't know, let's say Orlando,
Wah, wah.
we'll bring in a guest for the couch, and we're waiting on Ralph to catch up
For that
with a
sound
little-
effect, yeah.
There you go.
Maybe we just put a big head, one of those big stickers, and put on the wall. And
No,
just make it
Orlando's
happen.
reserved for Orlando. All right. So, what do we got? So, Nisa, what's this segment called? Is it
Anissa's trending topics.
you want to do topics, or was this the
Or-
icebreaker thing?
Anissa's icebreakers.
Icebreakers. Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to Anissa's Icebreakers. All right.
Whoa. Okay.
Because it's chilly, because it's an icebreaker.
You okay there?
I was,
What just happened?
gee, I was cold. That was like a bird.
Like the
I catch you off
That's
guard.
great.
Wow.
I wasn't expecting that. but I love it. I love it.
Left field there.
it just slobbered everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
I got a couple.
That's right. We lacquered
You
this
need a
table.
towel
A moist
like it.
towelette.
Yeah. And if you don't know, we built this table ourselves.
from scratch.
I was just
The one with the
noticing
slobber all over it. We built it ourselves. And
Blood,
Anissa
sweat, and
stained it.
tears.
Yeah, we have pictures, so we'll put it up.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We got videos and pictures.
All right,
Anissa, what you got?
I'll do some icebreakers then.
Do it.
So, what's like your least favorite food as a kid, and do you still hate it?
Ooh. I can tell you what was my favorite. Campbell's Chunky Soup. I loved the beef, even though it wasn't real beef. And it was like, it came out like dog food. You know, it just came out you just
Yeah.
slide out the can. Man, I could go for some Campbell's Chunky Soup right now.
You still eat it?
And by the way, this podcast is not
It's
sponsored
not
by
sponsored, no.
Campbell's. But no, I don't eat it anymore. But it was delicious. And if you're out there and you're like, I know what he's talking about.
I was never against it.
Yeah. What
All right.
what least favorite food now?
No, as a kid.
As a
and do you
kid.
still hate
And do
it?
you still
I
hate it?
remember.
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts.
They're good for you though, man.
I like them now.
Brussels sprouts.
They are good.
Typically when they're good for you as a kid, you don't like
I
it.
didn't
true,
like them
yeah.
As a kid,
So Brussels sprouts.
couldn't
what-
stand them.
What did they put them in?
I don't know. My mother's, she used to cooking pasta and
Yeah.
made Brussels sprouts and
Brussels sprouts and everything.
All right.
Brussels sprouts and salt and marinara sauce wasn't a good mix.
Nah.
No.
Not good. What do you got?
I'll tell you what I hated when I was smaller and that I love now is cocktail shrimp. Because
Oh.
I used to think that it looked so weird, and
Yeah.
my dad used to eat it all the time, and now I love it. But I wouldn't get near
It's
it.
cold too, right?
Excuse me, huh?
And it's cold too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, like the cold cocktail shrimp. It doesn't look too appealing, but it's actually pretty good. Yeah,
I don't like
safe to say you don't like
I
it.
don't like seafood. You know,
Oh, no seafood at all.
no seafood. Not
You
even, not even lobster.
You don't like a nice lobster tail?
No. What about tuna?
What about mahi mahi?
Yeah.
Wait, I remember
Have you
this.
ever had a lobster roll?
Are you ready?
Nick loves
good
this
lobster
topic.
roll.
Wait a minute. If it swims in the ocean or a body of water, I don't like it.
So then oysters, they don't really swim.
Yeah, but
just
they
kinda
do.
sit
They
there,
they
you know?
oysters swim. Yes, they
Yeah.
do. So, anyways, no seafood for moi.
Wow.
Sushi?
No.
That's
Okay. Name what you're gonna name, and the answer is no.
Have you ever tried a good yellowtail?
This is what happened.
You never had a yellowtail?
So listen. I'm gonna tell you guys.
I know.
This is a
Just keep
secret.
What about some hogfish?
All right, this is what happens. Okay, I get this. I go out, and then you go through a list. It's a long laundry list, and then I say,
I'm pretty sure this happened in our office before.
it happens all the time. And then what I say is, I'm allergic, and then they go, oh, okay, and then they're
But you're
done.
not really allergic.
It's done. No, but I need
that
to
just
say
stops
that.
the
It just stops the conversation. Because no
So
matter how
if-
much I say no,
Okay, so is it the flavor or the
You see what
texture
I'm
you don't
saying?
like?
It's because I'm allergic.
If you were shipwrecked on a
different story.
desert island,
That's a different
you wouldn't
story.
eat seafood.
That's a
Had
different
no
story.
choice. At that
survival.
point.
Survival.
Crab
different.
cakes.
It's what I like.
With a nice
are
sear,
delicious.
yeah.
Yeah.
What I like.
How can you not like that?
It's not appealing to me.
Oh my gosh, mind blown.
Yeah.
Did something happen to you when you were younger, when, like in the ocean?
No, it's not appealing. Something did. I got stuck.
Did you
in
get tried by a fish?
No, I got stuck in a rip current one time.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
Ceviche.
scary though.
Oh,
still
you
just
know what?
calling out.
Ceviche.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
think
found
about
one.
that. That's it.
You see,
I love ceviche.
We
there
found
we go.
one.
There it is.
Do you really love
We
ceviche?
found
No,
one.
I just want to
Ceviche.
stop talking about it. I'm just done talking about it.
Ceviche now.
Moving on.
Yeah. So I don't like seafood or spam.
Okay.
All right. What else you got?
So random. Spam.
So anybody else?
Oh, pickles and onions.
Pickles and you like them.
I don't like raw onions. I like cooked onions. I still hate pickles.
Yeah, I don't like pickles either.
Donuts, classic, or do you like the donuts in these days that they put bacon and like right here? I think this one has bacon, banana, and all. So what do you prefer?
We talking about them
Gourmet
salty
donut.
donuts?
But those are two different categories of donuts.
But if you had to pick one,
Oh, we went.
classic glazed
we
donut,
moved on.
or a gourmet donut.
We moved on. So now we're talking about donuts. It's only right. So the food thing is done, right? Which you
Wait.
don't like anymore.
Did you answer?
I drew a blank because I've always liked every food. Like I've never, I could eat almost anything. I have a very non-selective palate.
Have you ever
Gotcha.
tried like alligator tail?
Yeah, there's some things I won't try.
Oh, why not?
Sounds a little gross.
What about iguana?
Deer.
Why not?
Hey, that's a
This is
dumb-
how you guys sound. I'm just saying. Why not this? Why not that?
Do we have Scooby Doo in the audience?
But I'm just saying that's how you guys. You get it now. You know how I feel.
Back to donuts though.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have a sweet tooth, but I tell you, if you guys ever go to New Orleans, ever been there? Have you tried the beignets? Like the pie, they're like
No.
deep fried powdered. Oh my god, they're amazing.
Never even heard of that.
Food. Oh, you got to.
Beignets?
You're a foodie. You
Never
got
been
to try.
over
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll go over there just for that then.
There's one place that you gotta go
With
to.
the green awning.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called. Yeah,
That's all they sell is beignets and coffee.
and it's awesome. Yeah,
That's how you
I've
say
never heard of a
beignets. How does it
beignet.
spelled?
yeah. It's French, I think.
How's it spelled?
You got me there.
Probably would it be?
E-N-
I would think it starts with a B and then with maybe an E.
So if you don't know, we have a TV up in the studio, and whatever we show on the screen in the studio, we'll then
Try
insert in.
BEIG maybe, and then ENET.
There it is.
B-E-N-E.
Gio, I know if you've seen it, and you're probably like, they got the bag of nits.
The bayonets.
Yeah, you guys serve those bayonets here.
Let me get a bayonet real quick.
Oh,
Orlando, that
you
was
know
it?
what?
Those look like Thai donuts.
Dude, those are awesome.
I
man.
had those in the Panhandle at a little mom and pop breakfast spot. Delicious with the little dipping
Looks
sauce.
really good.
Very good, man.
Is it
Excellent.
close to a Thai donut? Because it's got the powder on it and everything like that.
Might be something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Super
Nice.
good.
It's deep fried goodness with sugar.
Yeah. So,
donuts.
I just want to touch on one thing before we go, right? So I know we were just doing a little kind of icebreaker, kind of get everyone used to listening to us speak, maybe talk about off topics from police. But social media and police is important nowadays, just to go back to what we were talking about in the first break. And we here at the Miami Police Department, we try to utilize all of our platforms strategically in a way to where we can reach our audience. And that is, the bigger the audience, the better the message received, the more people can hear the message. And the message has a lot to do with you guys out there listening.
Yep.
So if we're getting calls and there's a certain crime pattern that's happening, or there's some information we want to get to you, I mean, it's good to know what the police is trying to tell you, right? I would assume if my local department, because I don't live here in the city, but my local department wanted to tell me a message, I'm like, what do we got
What's going on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, what's going on? So that's one of the reasons why we're here. But we do understand that people have to be entertained, right? Because at the end of the day, this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. But we got to evolve a little bit, and we have to go with what people are consuming. Otherwise, our stuff and our message is not going to be consumed.
Exactly.
Got to communicate with this current generation. It's the best way to do it.
Yeah, on the TikToks.
Gotcha.
So to recap, this is the podcast. We want to make it interactive with you guys. If you're not following us on Instagram, make sure you go over to Instagram because we're going to be polling the audience. We're going to be asking questions about the guests that we have on. For instance, if Gio was coming on next week, we would say, hey guys, what questions do you have for Gio? He's going to be on the podcast. You guys send them in and we're going to read those questions. We'll pick like top 5. We're going to read those questions on one of the segments, and those are called Anissa's questions from Instagram that the followers asked. We're going to figure it out.
That just kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. So, and we'll make an acronym so it's like 5-6 letters. So
we'll record an audio loop so I can just plug it in right here.
There you go. Actually, I like doing it. Just add an echo. So that's what we want to do. We want to make this interactive. Not only that, put some comments down below. How about, hey, who do you want to see? What do you want to know?
What unit would you want to hear from?
Yeah, maybe we could do a little bit of more this. Maybe we could do a little bit less of that. Maybe Nick can eat some seafood. I don't know.
Maybe we'll bring a lobster tail live on the show.
A live lobster tail.
A seafood challenge. I like it.
Yeah.
There we go.
No. So that's what the podcast is going to be about. We probably would have put in another break in there.
Yeah.
But we weren't planning on doing this long. We wanted to make a shorter version. The other other podcasts that we do are going to be
More
in that
breaks.
hour 15 range. But for this one, we went probably like 45 minutes. But Orlando's like, I'm so hungry.
He's still waiting to eat his food.
He's hangry.
Feed me.
So we're gonna end it here before Orlando gets too hangry. Anissa, you got anything for the first pre-podcast?
I thought about something when we were talking, but I don't know if we can go over this. But to expose our screen time, since we're social media people, like how long do we stay on our phones?
All right, I think we'll hold it though. Well, let's hold it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna hold that.
That's a whole topic.
And leave the listeners on the edge of their seats. We'll
talk about
what's
that one
Gio's
next time.
screen time look like, and we're gonna look at his search history.
Oh.
Why are you turning so red? So, Ralph, anything for the audience?
I'm good. Again, I'm excited about the podcast. I think we're going to be bringing a lot of good, valuable information, having fun while doing it. So,
Orlando.
Yeah, just happy to be here. It's a definite change of pace from processing public records requests, that's for sure. So this is a good lighthearted way to learn more about the police department.
Yeah, and thank you for joining us, because I know at first you're like, oh, what, a podcast? Is it going to be audio? I was like, no, it's going to be video. And you were all in. You said, all right, I like the set. I'm in. We had to sell it a little bit to you. Gio, you got anything for the audience?
No, it's great to be here. I mean, starting with you doing the videos now for the podcast is really great to see how the unit's evolving, and we're, touching different avenues and just growing as a unit and being able to interact. I think that's really what it is, about interacting and bridging that gap between police and community and everybody, to be able to kind of just see, hey, this is who we are. We're the same, in the office, out of the office, on the street, at home. It's just, this is who we are.
This is it.
And it feels good to be able to just, have a different medium to do this on.
I love it. With that being said, every time, so this is what's happening. Ralph goes to cough or clear his throat, and he hits a button. And I'm like,
I keep seeing at the corner of my eye.
He's about to drop some hot fire.
I'm muting my mic so you don't hear me clearing my throat.
And he keeps touching it, and I pause because I'm like, he's about to drop
the great fake out. Great fake out.
I don't know that his timing is way off, but I guess he's going with the sound effect here. So with that being said, thank you for listening to the first ever pre-podcast
it was fun.
exhibition.
This is going to be fun.
Nice. Good
Thanks
job.
for listening, and we'll
See you soon.
No official sign off.
we're figuring it out.
Bye.
Bye. See you later. Bye.